Like I remember when I had the Iron match with Shawn Michaels.
Right.
And we had so much thought into the match as it was. We only saw each other the day of the show.
And if I could say something about that match too, like I was talking about it the other day. That's the only reason I bring it up, because that match, I was 12 years old when that match happened. It was WrestleMania 12, and as a 12-year-old, I was thinking to myself when it was pitched, I was like, I don't know anything about an hour-long wrestling match. Like, this is gonna be boring. I'm 12, I got a short attention span, and I said this the other day that was the match that like clicked this thing on in my brain as to, like I like wrestling matches, because I sat there for the whole hour and it was this thing that really hadn't been done on WWF at the time, television before. And it honestly made me watch in a whole different way and appreciate things on a whole different level.
Well, I like building an Iron Man match and the time and all the falls. There turned out to only be one, of course. But,
yeah.
There's a lot of thought that got to go into all that. And I've wrestled a lot of hour matches. And hour matches are hard because they start to drag. After about, like once there's like around the 10-minute mark, people start going, I hope these guys aren't going to go an hour. And it's like, yeah, we're going an hour.
Right.
Nobody knows it till it's about the 45-minute mark when they go, okay, yeah, they are going an hour.
Yeah.
And so they're hard to keep everyone's attention. And I remember in that match, like when we had the whole match figured out, it was like I was worried about losing the fans, losing their attention. Like I remember like sort of figuring it all out and said, we kind of need something like from the 15-minute mark to the 25 or 30 minutes. That's where you got to that's where you lose them, is that close when you get around 30 minutes. And if depend on whether you used all your best stuff up or you're saving your best stuff for that other half of the match, or there's a part there where you can lose the whole interest of that whole audience, where they just like they feel like, oh shit, it's an hour match. This is gonna be I already can know the rest of it without even watching, kind of thing. But Pat Patterson came up with that idea with Tony Chimo with the kick on the floor, where he kicked the timekeeper and they took him out in a stretcher.
Yeah,
I've always said that is as a one example is what Triple H and Brock Lesnar needed. They needed something just a little different, off the beaten path, that hadn't been done every night, or wasn't him doing the pedigree on a table for the billionth time.
Right.
Something that was out of the ordinary. Like people go, what the heck's happening? He kicked the timekeeper and he's out cold, and they take him out in a stretcher. But that little distraction of like that whole spot took about 3-4 minutes by the time we got him out of there and we got back in the ring, kind of got back to the story. But I always thought that got us over the hump. If you watch that match back,
sure, that's really interesting.
That got us over the hump of that boring part where they lose interest.
Yeah.
And we kept their interest, and then we had them the rest of the match. But it's like it's a small little thing, but